Hello everybody and welcome back to Ethiopia. So we did just crush this rebellion down here, and very soon we'll be moving this army back onto the mainland. In fact, let's go ahead and merge them back together right now. We are also currently beating up on the Mamluks, which is exciting, and we renewed a loan, which is a bit unfortunate. We're going to get that inflation bump. So we're going to go ahead and transport these guys into Mogadishu, and we'll do that automagically, which is excellent. Now, we're currently pretty inefficient on this siege. We really don't need this many troops here. We'll take off, in fact, 3/4 of them. And we'll leave just the bare minimum. And the rest of these guys can head over... Not these guys. These guys can head... No, not these guys. These guys can head over to Ma'an. And so they shall. And then these can head down here to Al-Waj just as soon as they are finished sieging, which of course, by the time I said that, they had already been done for a while. So I don't know why I kept going with that particular thought. Kind of redundant. But we now have the Mamluks basically 100% occupied. And then we're going to separate piece out Fadl. We're not going to take any territory from them. We're just going to take all their money that we can. That'll be fine. We also have a rebel uprising coming up. Melindian separatists. 11.1 years. Wow. That they got all the way to 80% is bad luck. Well, we do have this army down here that is relatively close. We'll just leave them down there. We shouldn't need them to finish up this war at all. So that's perfect. There we go. Yep. Excellent. There is this 2k stack down here, which is a bit obnoxious, but I don't think they're really going to do anything. At least not anything important. We can actually get up here and occupy these territories, and so we shall. That would be perfect. The Ottomans are probably a bit sad about this. Actually, I don't think they particularly care. Mamluks want peace. We want peace too, but on our terms. Siege of Azrak is over. So you go ahead and head up into Homs. And now all we're waiting on is this siege of Sharqiya. Perfect. And we are going to want to start fostering hostile relations with Tunis. So let's go ahead and start building a spy network here. There we go. Just so that we have options. There is a 7k stack from Fadl up here. I was under the impression that they were wiped, but they may have been and rebuilt, or they may have just come up here to hide. Either way, they should not last long against this force. Or we could lose half of our morale in one go. That works too. Are they higher Miltech than us? We've had a hard time fighting them. They are. That explains it. Okay. We can no longer claim that Mahafali would be part of our realm. That is perfectly fine, though. They're part of our vassal's realm. So, that's a-okay. We'll go ahead and move you guys in here to reinforce, just in case we lose this. Which we did. But he has no chance. We can just cycle in troops. There we go. And we will go ahead and just march up to here and stack wipe him. Excellent. There we go. And we'll just group up this army again. And all we're waiting on is this last siege right here. And now we have a perfect 100% war score. Excellent. Or we don't. That works too. We could also have 99% war score. Either way, it's fine. It is plenty. Oh, this is why down here Mamluks have one stack down capping. It's just fine. So Fadl, we want you to give us war reps, all your money, and also steer trade to us if you don't mind. Let's do that. So they're just negotiating for themselves, so we'll piece them out. Perfect. Fadl now is pieced out, so all we have is this Mamlukian problem here. We'll go ahead and march all these guys right on down here. Just in case we decide we want to actually smack this before. But I don't think we will. We should also have our missionary out. There we go. Now, what do we actually want to take from the Mamluks? Ideally, would be something along the lines of this. Or even better, this. That would be ideal. 83 aggressive expansion. Mamluks, Tunis, Aniza. We don't care about Mamluks or Aniza. And I don't think that Tunis can call in their allies into a coalition war. So I think this is fine, actually. We go ahead and take all of this, and we take war reps. And we call it a day. I think that's okay. Mamluks, Tunis, Aniza. Aniza is this little guy right here. So we don't care about Aniza. Let's just check the strength of Tunis before we do this. I'm 95% certain they would not be able to get the Ottomans into a coalition war. So, Tunis themselves are significantly weaker than us. So yeah, let's just do this. We're going to take a lot of land here. This is going to be Overextension City. We're going to have to chill a bit. But that's fine. We can also go to war with Moravi way down here if we decide to in the future. Just, it's so far away that we won't have any aggressive expansion up this way to worry about. So we can always expand down here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna get a lot of money out of this too. So we go ahead and send that demand. And we're gonna group these guys up probably right here. Supply limit of 31. Yeah, that should be fine. We go ahead and do that. There we go. Major victory. Okay, supply limit of 33. I think that's more centrally located. We'll put them there. We're going to need some major rebel busting out this way. We're going to have some pretty significant overextension. Yep. So we go ahead and spend a bunch more admin power on all that. Now we can become Defender of the Faith. We would get an achievement for that. But right now I feel it's more important to pay off several of these loans. One of these loans. There we go. Now we're losing less money. The primary reason we are losing money is because we are reinforcing our army. If we weren't doing that, we would be making money. And that'll be only a couple of months, so we should be okay. And let's go ahead and move these guys down somewhere where they're not taking attrition. Like Malindi itself, we'll park them there. That'll probably get rid of all of the unrest there. And then this will start ticking down. Beja is going to revolt soon. We're going to have to deal with that for sure. Absolutely. Monastery of St. Anthony. Deep in the Red Sea Mountains in a hidden oasis lies one of our most sacred places, the Monastery of St. Anthony. Built by Anthony's followers in the 4th century, this Christian monastery is one of the oldest in the world. St. Anthony, foremost of the Desert Fathers, is known as the Father of Monks. He ventured into the desert where he spent many years as a hermit, his life dedicated to God. During the Great Persecution, he went back to civilization to comfort the imprisoned, risking his life for his fellow Christians. At the end of his life, he settled by the oasis where the great monastery stands today. Thousands of pilgrims follow in Anthony's footsteps each year, and now that Suais is under our protection, we can ensure that they reach their destination safely. We shall learn from St. Anthony's ways. Copts there are coming out of hiding, local missionary strength plus 2% in that region. Fantastic. Okay. So we took back some Coptic areas up here. Now, we're going to have some Bayesian separatists, which will be down here. And we have too few rivals, in fact. We currently have Spain, Ajam. And let's set Tunis as our other rival. We want to declare that we're going to be fighting Tunis. Ideally, we find a time when the Ottomans don't want to help them. I'm not sure we find that time anytime soon, though. How much do we need to actually repay our cheapest loan here? About 50 more ducks. That's not too bad. We're currently making a lot, but that won't last forever. Okay, so we park these guys in Malindi, and that deals with that unrest. Malindian separatists will now tick down. 1.9 years for Sakalava, which I believe... Where is Antinkara? Yeah, I thought that was on Madagascar. Can we just raise autonomy? I don't want to deal with 27k. Not quite. We're close to being able to raise autonomy. But we can't because we already did. Okay. So, we're going to have to be ready. We'll go ahead and move these guys into Malindi. We're going to have to be ready for rebels to pop over here. And there will be potentially 27k of them, which will be annoying. There are some Adalan separatists. They may or may not pop. 4.2 years. These guys in Beja will almost certainly pop, which this army will be responsible for taking care of those. Okay. Perfect. Let's see here. Bajan separatists will be somewhere in here. In fact, we can just not deal with those at all. Autonomy is quite low over here, so there we go. How many more? Sawakin and Haib. Halaib. This one. And this one. There we go. Perfect. We'll no longer have to deal with Bajan separatists. I don't like doing the raising autonomy, but I just don't want to fight that many rebels right now. Ideally. I would like to put some of this money into construction. Perhaps. Not super valuable there. Not super valuable there. Manufactories would be great. But as of right now, we don't really have the money for that. So we'll not be constructing those. We did just core a province, and our administration is growing. As the state and its bureaucracy grow, there is an ever-growing need of people to oversee and administrate various lands and functions. The nobility have traditionally been more associated with military services to the state, but have increasingly made it clear that they still expect to be first in line when government offices are being handed out. The burghers, on the other hand, claim that the nobility considers such appointments as mere rewards and will use them only to enrich themselves. Instead, the burghers argue that we should appoint men out of individual merit. The unexpected death of a trusted secretary has left a sacred position? I don't know where sacred came from. Has left a vacant position to be filled at the center of this conflict, with the burghers supporting one candidate and the nobility expecting us to pick another. While both candidates are talented men, this does have to be a political decision. With great pedigrees come great abilities. We could make the nobility happy and gain +1 diplomatic relations. I think we're doing okay on diplomatic relations. We're at 4 out of 4. And one of those is Medina's military access. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need that. Global trade power plus 10%. That would be really solid right there. Or monthly autonomy change, which I think would right now be more solid. Let's do it. Let's turn to the clergy. Okay, so the nobility are grumpy. Let's take a look at our estates here and see if we can't do anything. We cannot really do anything from the burghers. We could demand admin support from the clergy, and so we shall. We'll go ahead and do that. And the nobility, we could make them happy by calling a diet. And that would allow us to demand military support. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. Which allows us to get Miltech 15. And so we shall. There we go. Mauritian infantry. The size and depth of the Spanish square gave it staying power, but made it slow and cumbersome to maneuver on the battlefield. It also led to a large percentage of troops being inactive during battles. Maurice of Nassau, the Stadtholder of the Netherlands, reduced the total number of men in the formation to make it more mobile and reduced its depth, so it maintained the same firepower and shock values. So, we get a new type of infantry, and our military tactics and land morale increases. That's really, really, really solid. I mean, we saw the effects when we were fighting Fodl of 14 versus 15. It's pretty intense. So let's go ahead and get ourselves our new type of infantry, which I kind of like the South African Musketeers for 8 offensive pips. We'll go ahead and do that. Perfect. Okay, so this here is taking attrition because it should not be taking attrition. There we go. We just needed to merge them all together so that the leader could have his maneuver counting. Perfect. Profiteering in Garowe. The citizens of Garowe have grown tired of the local influence of greedy Mogadishan merchants that they claim are using unfair advantages to outcompete local businesses. They demand that we step in to limit the influence of foreign traders on the area and reaffirm the privileges of our own merchants and artisans. If we do not act, they might take matters into their own hands. We must protect our trade, or corruption is good for everyone. Well, it actually says competition, but I read corruption. Take that as you will. We can make Mogadishu sad. And we'll go ahead and do that. Mogadishu can be sad. We are currently very slowly annexing them. Tunis is no longer a valid rival for us. That's fascinating. Can we go Ottomans? No. Don't really want to rival any of those guys. Don't really want to at all. We are one of the great powers, right? Yeah, we're 6th on the list. Excellent. That's really solid. In fact, we would be 3rd on the list if we had our institutions. Well, that's great. We are currently losing money. Why are we currently losing money? Well, we can mothball this fleet. That'll help a little bit, at least. Why are we losing money, though? Let's see. Primarily rooting out corruption. Because of our overextension, primarily. Unbalanced research as well. Yeah, that's what's doing it. Okay, we do have a rebel uprising coming up. Independence on Madagascar. We'll go ahead and move these guys across this here sea. Although we'll have to de-mothball this fleet, which we saved 1 month on. 1 month's worth of pay. But we'll go ahead and move on over, and we'll deal with that as soon as we can. Excellent. Independence for a doll in 4.8 years. I'm gonna guess that's not going to proc. Most of these are actually going to go away. Independence for Mamluks will not. We will have to deal with that one, but many of these will go away as our overextension ticks down, which is in progress. Perfect. We should probably be fabricating a claim on Moravi, just because we're going to want to expand down here. We need to chill a bit up here for at least a few years. We do want to take Alexandria. We could potentially take that in a single war with Tunis if we can find one. Just go boom, boom, boom. That would be the idea. Cut them off there, and then in the second war, just take this stuff over here and then don't care about this. That's kind of the concept. Tunis currently also holds Crete, which is a bit obnoxious. And of course, with them being long-standing allies with the Ottomans, we're pretty much going to have to fight Tlemcen, which, because they're so far away, means potentially a no-CB war. Which that's going to be interesting. I don't know, maybe we can get them to insult us or something. Who knows? That would be nice. Because then, hypothetically, we could maybe not take land from Tunis and fight Tunis, Tlemcen, etc., and then just break the alliance between Tunis and the Ottomans. I'm not sure if you can break alliances in a diplomatic insult CB. I think you can. 30... yeah. There's not very many good places to park this army. Let's go ahead and just divide it in half so that we're not taking attrition. There we go. That'll solve that particular problem. Excellent. Excellent. So now we're pretty much just waiting for our overextension to go away, which will go away in about 1.5 years. That's quite a ways out. We are going to have to do some rebel busting between now and then. Almost guaranteed. Yeah, the Adalan separatists are going to pop. That was very unlucky that they ticked up that quickly. We'll get our Diptech 10. The Flute. A flute is a specialized cargo vessel capable of carrying a large load with a very small crew. Flutes were designed to be built cheaply and in large numbers. A useful ship if you need to move things across the ocean. Indeed. So that'll help our corruption costs significantly. So we will be losing a lot less money now. Fantastic. We also converted Mora. And we will get this province next. Morowant Cetra, I guess, is the name. So that is good. Age of Reformation will be over in 45 months, so we will lose all of these bonuses. But that's okay. What is this? Tunis wants military access. They are at war with Great Britain, Portugal. What did you do, Tunis? What is this war? They are attacking Portugal. Okay. If you're attacking, then no. You don't need access through us to fight Portugal. I don't know what you're talking about. Go away. Perfect. Perfect. I don't know what's perfect, but something is perfect. Something is clearly perfect. So we're going to go ahead and use our Tunisian spy network to build a claim on... We could cut them off this way, or this way. Or this way. Or this way. There's a lot of ways we could do it. But let's go for Bahiria, since we can't directly claim Alexandria. Okay. There we go. We'll pull back this guy from Tunis. We no longer need him there. And these guys, let's start shifting them down south. Just because these Adalan separatists could pop. And we're going to need to be down this way-ish. I mean, we're kind of getting pulled multiple directions here, but it won't be too bad. We'll just have some extra separatism, most likely. With any luck, we won't actually pop any of these before we're able to get these done, but it could very well happen. We're still about 9 months out, so there's about 95% chances that it pops. May or may not happen. What is this? Who wants something now? Medina wants military access. They are at war with Aniza and Dasawir. Whatever. That's fine, I guess. They can have it. They gave us military access to fight Fadl. I don't have a beef with Medina. Which reminds me, did we take Mecca? No, this is Mecca here. We sacked Mecca, but we did not take Mecca. Okay. It will be funny when we take Mecca, though. We will take Mecca at some point. Well, just a couple more months now. Kilwa is also threatening to revolt, which is going to be obnoxious. They're going to spawn 37k troops. And they will spawn. 2.9 years here. This one might not spawn. Where will the Kilwans spawn? Bagamoyo, Zanzibar. They're gonna spawn up in this direction. let's go ahead and start shifting troops back to the mainland. Just because we're going to need to deal with that. Moravi, we finished our spy network on. We'll go ahead and claim Makua right here. Perfect. No need to keep building that. Okay. There they are, 33k. Also 4k down here. We'll go smack this 4k stack first. There we go. Not sure we can actually get here in time to stop them from getting the separatism. That is one of the useful things about building forts, but they're just so expensive. I don't like forts. I don't think forts are worth the money. We will actually get there in time. So, it's fine. And then we'll have to deal with this stack up here. They have 9,000 cavalry though, so we shouldn't actually have a problem with that. And you are going into Ebo. Perfect. Okay. Well, are you going to get there? Yeah, you're going. Sounds good. Oh, we did have rebels pop up here that apparently I didn't even notice. Well, we'll go deal with those. We do got to get these rebels busted. Rebels aren't going to bust themselves. Bit unfortunate that they didn't bother to wait for another couple of months. Our overextension will be just about gone here in a moment. But we'll go ahead and head up here. Perfect. And here goes our overextension. In just a couple more days. There we go. Excellent. And we converted a province. Religious unity is hovering at right about 50%. Yep. Well aware. Well aware. Where are we here? We are currently there. Okay. These guys don't have a leader. And they have 8,000 cavalry. They don't quite have too many cavalry. These guys have too many cavalry. 8,000 is... well... yeah, they have too many cavalry. That's pretty much all there is to it at this point. So we should be able to have no problem with that at all. We are going to lose a lot of troops here, and we're going to have to spend a lot of money replacing these troops, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is, and now we have more separatists firing in Jeddah. That's okay. We'll deal with them in just a moment. There we go. Excellent. We'll get those taken care of. And then I'm trying to decide if we want to walk this army all the way up here. We do have these Adalan separatists coming up, and Sophalan. Sophalan are down here. And Sakalavan over here. Many of these will not, in fact, pop. Like, I don't think the Adalans will pop now. Well, they are at 90%. They may pop. We're getting really bad luck on these. Let's leave these guys down here, just in case. And we'll go deal with these. Yep. Rebels. Well aware. Okay. As long as we're here, we're going to shift consolidate and leave just enough troops to actually recap this so that we don't have to spend quite as much time there. Trade good in Dawa has changed to wool. Okay, that's fine. And more cores. Perfect. There we go. And then you guys can actually head up here, and we'll send you guys down to deal with this stack. Good. You guys will just chill for the time being. Holy Roman Empire elected Austria. He's got 13 imperial authority. He's losing 48 or 0.48 a month. Franz Karl I is the emperor. He has not passed any imperial reforms. Good job, HRE. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic over there, Austria. Letting the Commonwealth bust into Brandenburg. Well, that's not the worst for us. We are okay with the Commonwealth. We actually want a strong Commonwealth, which is why we didn't rival them. We want to be friends. We want to be friends with these here Commonwealths. Yep. We've got ourselves some separatists. Well aware. Accommodation with natives in Dawa. They lose a ferocity. That's irrelevant. For now, we'll go ahead and mothball this fleet. We are potentially going to have to go back across with Sakalava here. Antikythera is this province. 1616, so that's not going to be a thing. Petition for redress. Peasants typically had no voice, but they could occasionally gain access to the monarch and ask for redress. Sometimes these requests for redress would be directed at the local lord who was perceived to be violating the peasants' rights. Stepping in to override a noble's local authority was a very drastic step. So we could make the nobles even more sad. Or we could have some rebels. We get sad nobles. They'll get over it. They will get over it. And our overextension is now almost gone. We just need Minya. 5 October, which is a surprisingly long time. Oh, it's because it's currently occupied. That is why. There we go. You guys, get over here. Deal with these jerks. Perfect. Very good job. How are we doing on this annexation? Using 5 a month. Okay, so that sped up significantly. Sounds good. That'll be happening soon then. And we'll go ahead and walk these guys here. You guys can come. We'll park you somewhere around here. And we're renewing more bank loans. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed, because our inflation is going up slightly from that. It is coming down a little bit each year, but not quite enough. Hey, we actually made money that month. That's good. Presumably because we're no longer suffering as many casualties. We're also not paying nearly as much for corruption due to overextension. And our unbalanced research is coming down slowly. Although annexing the vassals is slowing us down in diplomatic tech. So that's going to be fun. Okay, there we go. So we'll just go ahead and group up there. And that is pretty much that taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. And I will see you all next time.